Okay. I think we need two more person in. That's Mr. K and Mr. Soji. Okay, bro, you can share the screen with us while we wait for. Okay. As you can see from what he opened, we can see exactly what we've written in .py. He opened it using an IDE, which is different from Jupyter Notebook. So
Hello.
we can have.
Hello, Mr. Mario.
Okay.
It's like I missed the last 3 minutes of the last session.
Okay. So where exactly did you get us?
Downloading as in the various options. I didn't know which options you guys went through.
Okay. So is your Anaconda open presently?
Yes.
Okay. So when you go to file, then you see download as. So we want to download it as a
Okay.
.py.
Okay.
So when you download as .py, and anything you download on your browser, definitely it has a location where it goes to. So go to the exact location, then copy the downloaded py file and go and paste it in the folder we have our data science.
Okay.
So the copying and all that we are doing is just a tradition. It's just a way to help us organize our programming files. Even if we don't copy it and put it in a folder called data science, even if we leave it the way they are, it will still run. But just that it helps us to manage our files so that we won't have scattered files. So I think I will stop the basic for I'll stop introduction on Jupyter Notebook there. So by God's grace, I should fix up my Anaconda before the next class. So as we are working, we'll begin to see many other things. I would have loved to introduce us to Markdown today, but if I'm to do that with Mr. Bolu controlling the platform, is definitely going to be very slow. So I will use another IDE to start the programming on a programming level, like hands-on. So the other software we installed is Git. So we'll be using Jupyter Notebook for throughout the class. So by now, with that, I think we're a little bit familiar with it. So now we installed another software called Git, and it's part of the syllabus that we'll be covering. And I know for some of us must have been wondering what is Git and what's the significance of Git in data science. Now, Ali, can you see any programming job, any job that has to do with soft skill that they won't highlight that experience in the use of version controls system is needed, and the most popular one is Git. So now, what does this Git does for us? And we must have heard of situation where maybe programming and different countries how they project or how does a software use a software. Tell me this of my software. So now not Git also. So now what is this? Git and GitHub they work hand in hand. GitHub is an online repository or negotiate just like something soft just like GitHub. GitHub is an online repository every keep your files. Now what I'm Git now is for laptop. Now let's assume I start this now and I want to keep online the online repository. My laptop has become a local repository. The online has my repository. Now I have to upload the to my online repository. In case I see the code for my repository. Now in case like 10 20 years work on the same project with me. What does have to do is because exam or for package can help you buy my computer and when they are now maybe they don't be I just have to work I just have to put the when I put my you have to say oh I'm test of this when test of so see the from here and what now is what I want to solve so how many objects are software how in what you so it's and that's any soft ware company actually make use of. So that's what we've installed on our laptop. So I'll just take us through. So there's a section on this in this our journey together, where we will look at it thoroughly. So I will just share with us now how to do that. So I'll just take us through so that we will see it. So I will share my screen now. So I believe we've all installed Git on our laptops. So let me share my okay. So on my laptop now, let's assume I want to start a project. Let's assume I want to start a project. I'm coming. Let me share my screen so that we can see what I'm doing. Share screen and desktop. Okay. So I want to start a project just like we have data science folder on our desktop. So I'm starting a fresh project. So let me right click on and let me create a new folder. Let me call it data science. Data science. That's the name of the folder. So now let me now share with us the online repository, the GitHub, so that we can see. So I already have an account. So the first assignment we have is we go and create our own account. So now let me go into my account. So as you can see, github.com/my name. So now I want to create an online repo for a project I'm about to start. So taking time to load up. Okay, so as you can see, this is my profile. I have 16 repos on it. So I have, in case my system crashes or anything happen, and I can collaborate with people on project on this. So I come here, new. If I want to make it private, that means only invited people can actually see it. So I'll create the repo. So as you can see, name. So that folder on my laptop with the online repo. So now what I will do is let me share my screen. Okay, as desktop. Okay, so now I will open this folder, then I will right click and do git bash here. So we may not fully understand all today. We will still come back to the nitty-gritty of this, but I just want us to see the significance of the software we've installed and the role they will be playing. So now let me share with us how the git bash look. So the first thing I'll do is I'll do git init. So I want to do initialize a git on inside that particular folder. So I've initialized a git repository. There's nothing there. Now I want to link the two, the online repo and the local repo on my laptop together. So this is what it has already given us guideline here. So there's a code here, a link. There's a link here that links the online repo with my local repo. So I'll just do git remote add origin okay. So that's the link to the online repo. So it will add so when I click on it, there's now a connection now between my online repo and my local repo. So now let me now change, let me add a particular file. Okay, so I've done that. Now let me just briefly do something. Let me share, let me use my Visual Studio. Okay, okay. So let me open the data science folder here. So okay, then up, nothing up. Okay, so let me add a new file to the folder. So this is just Visual Studio Code. I mean, some of us have we've downloaded it. So I just want to say, let me just call this um, variables.py. So now I've added the particular file to that folder, variables.py. So now there's nothing inside the variable.py yet. So, but if I come here, as you can see now, let me share this system. So as you can see now, on my data science folder that I created, I now have variables.py. Now, my data science remote repo on my laptop now has variables.py, but what I have online does not have variables.py. So what I now use Git to do is to synchronize, to update between the local repo, which is what I have on my laptop, and the online repo. So let's not forget that I've already linked this particular folder with my online repository. So I can just do git status now. If I do git status now, so let's not forget you should be connected to the internet while doing this. If I do git status now, it's going to tell me, as you can see now, say not committed on track file. So it's already telling me that, oh, there's a difference between what you have on your laptop and what you have online. So I know what to do. What to do is I'll do git add. So to add every changes. So git add. So when I do git add, the next thing to do is git commit. So let's not bother with the command line. We'll still go into the nitty-gritty of this when the time comes according to our syllabus. So I'll just do project initiation. It's a project initiation. So and when I do that, I do git push minus u okay. So what it's going to do is push, just like the word push. It's going to push like push everything to. So now let's now check our online repo and see if it has actually pushed what we have here. So when I click on data science now, so now as you can see now, we can see variables.py. So in case anything happens to my laptop, or in case maybe someone wants to work with me on this project, the person can work with me. So that's just the significance of the Git we've downloaded. So when time comes, we will understand how to write those commands that will help us synchronize our online repo with our local repo. So that's significant of Git bash. So let's end it with Git bash over there. So the Visual Studio Code we also downloaded is an editor. There are quite a number of editors. There are quite a number of IDs we can use with Python. But for this project, we'll be using Jupyter Notebook as we've been introduced to. So, but so once in a while, just like today now, my Anaconda misbehaved, but we are still going to use Visual Studio Code to finish up what we are to do today. So let me share the screen of what we have on my Visual Studio Code with us. So today we'll be looking at variables and data types. Variables and data types. So what are variables? Now, before we move on, just like when we have programming languages and all that, they are just the same thing. You know, if you want to say good morning in French, if you want to say it in Yoruba, you say it in another way. If you want to say it in Hausa, you say it in another way. but you are still saying good morning. So that's just the difference between various programming languages. Like, one does not need to know all the programming language in the whole world. When you know a language, you can actually express yourself. But just that programming languages have strength. Some have strength in some areas. So Python is one of the popular programming language that is English-like very easy for people to learn, very, very easy. Kids learn Python, old people learn Python because it's very, very easy. So now, what are variables? Variables are what we use to hold values. We use variables to hold values. We use variables to store values. And those data values, they have no bound. I can decide to store the whole result of a consistency into a particular variable. I can decide to store my name inside the variable. I can decide to store my age inside the variable. I can decide to store the list of students inside a variable. I can decide to store my CGPA inside a variable. And I can decide to store a whole data set inside a variable. When I mean data set now, like the whole data set, for many of us that are familiar with data set, I can decide to store an object. I can decide to store many things inside a variable. So there are rules in naming this variable. So take, for example, just like I said, I want to store my name inside a variable. Can we all see my screen now, the black screen?
Yes.
Okay, so now I want to store my name, so I can say name equals then I'll put my name. Then let me do something we are a bit familiar with, print name. Let me run this and be very sure my Visual Studio is ready to go. So let me run it.
Have you abandoned Anaconda?
No. We are using Anaconda for the whole thing, but this is why my Anaconda failed today.
Okay.
Yes. So, and I will not want to be saying Mr. Abolu should do it from here. So, as we can see, this is the output here now. This Abayomi. So, I asked it to print name. Now, name now is a variable. What is name holding? Name is holding a value. What is the value holding? It's holding my name, the real name. And the second line, I decided to print out name, which is the variable. I can decide to store my address and just call it address and put my address plot 6 block D. I can decide to store my age. I'm quite young. I'm 42. That's not true. So that's an integer. That's an integer now. I can decide to store my height. I can say height. I can say my height is 12.67. I can decide to store the list of my favorite food. So I can call fav food. Then I store them. I say rice. Then comma beans. Then and I add ludo. So as I stored, so as you can see, name, address, age, height, fav food, they are variables. They are called variables. They are carrying values that can be reached out to anytime. I can decide to manipulate any of the variables. I can decide to say, okay, we want to multiply the age of people in this town by 0.8. So I can decide to do, so let me do it this way. Let me say new age. That means I've created a new variable now called new age. Then what is that new age going to be holding? It's going to, I want to reduce the age of people, so multiply it by 0.8. Then I can now print the new age. Let me print the age, and also let me print the new age also. New age. So now if I print that, so as you can see below here, we can see 42, then we can see 33.6. So as you can see, new age itself has become a variable. So now, as you can see, the kind of data I store in those variables, they vary. This one now, the first one, that's the name now. As you can see, I put it inside a quotation. Anything put inside such a quotation, they are called strange. That's strange data type. There are different type of data that you can actually store in a variable. This is strange. This also is strange. My address is a strange. And most times we make use of strange when you have combination of letters, and like you can't even categorize. It's not something that the computer can calculate. But most of that are familiar with the way computer works. Computer only understand digital values. It works with 0 and 1s. So this is actually not something computer can evaluate. Or if you go to the third one now, this is an integer now. I don't need to put it in a quotation. If you look at the fourth one, height, this we call it float. This is a float. We are for the mathematics side, we call it decimal number. Now, the number fifth one, this is list. Now, I can put list of whatsoever, and they may not necessarily have to be the same data type. I can put maybe 34 here. So I've actually stored this whole list. I've stored it inside a variable called fav_food. So now here now, new age. New age is not even carrying any special value. It's carrying evaluated result. So what is the evaluated result? I'm multiplying age. What is age? Age is 42. I'm multiplying it by 0.8. So it will do that evaluation and store the new value inside the new age. So we can now understand the definition of a variable and what it does. So it helps you hold data values. You can as well decide to evaluate on those data values later on. You can decide to do all quite manner of things with the variable later on. And it helps us to avoid repetition. Imagine I want to work with 42 again. I'll have to come and write 42 here. But since I already have the variable, I can call the variable name anytime. So now, there are basic rules for naming this variable. If you can look at I created, I think, 6 variables now. I didn't violate some rules in variable. In name, there are some key rules you have to obtain or obey while we are creating any variable. The number one thing, we must not start with a number or any special character. We must start with a letter. We must start with a letter or underscore. We must not start with, I can't say for name equals Abayomi. It's wrong. But I can actually say underscore name equals Abayomi. It will go, but it doesn't really make sense. Why would I need to put an underscore under it? If you can see where I made use of underscore, new underscore age, it makes sense. That's where underscore comes in. So we can actually later on add value to them, but let's not start. We should not start a variable name with an integer with special characters. We can only start with a letter or underscore. Then another second thing is variable names are case sensitive. When I say something is case sensitive is programming, that means if I say age equals 42 and I come down and I say age also equals 67, the Python programming language won't complain. Now if I print small letter h, it will print small letter h. It's seeing them as two different things. It's seeing them as two different things. If I print capital letter H here now, we will see that it will print out, as you can see now, it's printed out 67 for me now. So it's case sensitive. So when you use maybe name small letter and you use name capital letter, you've defined two, maybe you declared it as name here. Take for example, like this age now, let me remove this now. And maybe when I come down here, instead of pressing small letter H, I now press I now enter capital letter H. As you can see, my laptop to complain that age, as you can see now, age is not defined. Age is not defined. So it's case sensitive. We have to be very, very careful when we are declaring and making use of variables. And then another thing is there are what we call reserved words or keywords. Reserved word or keywords. As you can see, something like print, you've seen us use it many times. Print is a reserved word. It has been reserved for a particular purpose. Print has been reserved to print whatsoever that has been inserted into it. Many other key words or reserved words, if statement, for statement, and those, there are some words like that. So as we move on, we begin to get used to it. So we've seen print, that print does a particular thing. So we dare not come and say print equals 78. That's erroneous. So in this case now, we have violated the rule of naming variable. We are trying to store a data value inside a reserved word that has been reserved for a particular purpose. So we don't do that when we are naming our variables also. And then I think that is all with the rules of naming variable. So I want to welcome question. The second session is about to finish now. So I want to welcome question from us. I don't want to create another third section again. So question from all that we've done. So we have assignments. We have assignments to do. So, but I want to welcome question first. So question from us. Any question? Nobody's talking. No. Hey, I'm afraid though.
Like, how many data types do we have?
There are many. So that's assignment number 2 for us. So the assignment number 1 that we are doing is everybody will go and open a GitHub account. So we'll go to www.github.com. So we'll open an account. So it will ask us for some details, our profile picture, our email, and all that. So we'll open a GitHub account and we'll have to send our profile name. Like my own profile name is Bayo Laumi. So let's send our profile name to the WhatsApp group. Then the second assignment is we should go and look for as many data types that exist in Python. As many data types that exist in Python, and put them also on the platform. There are many of them. So many. So let's go online, Google data types in Python, then let's write them and put them on the platform. So even if someone has submitted the assignment, still put according to personal findings what we've gotten. Let's put on the platform also. Then also let's open a GitHub profile account. So any other question?
You kindly type the website, the address on WhatsApp, the GitHub address.
Okay, I'll do that now. Any other question? Okay, so just to end it in a very cool way. So as you can see now, I've updated the values, the codes in inside variables now. Now there's a change. If I go online and I look at my If I open this variable now, I can only open the code from GitHub account online. I will see the code there. So as you can see, there's nothing inside variable.py. So now what we've updated our variable.py with some small code. So now let us use Git to just update it. So if I do Git status, it will tell me that I've added like 5 lines. So as you can see, I need to update it. So I'll do Git add, then I'll do Git commit, then minus m first class on variables and data type. So enter. Then after doing that, git push. Okay, go. Okay, so I've done that. So when I come to my online repository now let me just reload my variables.py. Voila. So we can see what we have on our laptop has been updated to our online repository. So that's just the beauty of GitHub and the likes. So we've done quite a lot today. We've been introduced to the Jupyter Notebook. So let's do it to play around, and let's play around it. Then we created folder data science. We saw how to export a Jupyter Notebook as a py file, and we saw the significance of Git and GitHub, and we have been introduced to variables and data types today. So the assignment is you should go to GitHub. I'll send the link to the WhatsApp platform. We'll open an account with GitHub. Then also we are to go and we should Google the internet for the various data types in Python. So I know you will see quite a number of them. We'll see quite a number of them. So, and we have questions. So let's put the various data types we've seen and the ones I finding it difficult to understand, put it, create variables, play around them. And with this, the code we ran on my own Visual Studio Code now, you can actually run it on your Jupyter Notebook also and run the cell just like we explained. So by God's grace, before Wednesday, I would have put my Anaconda into order. So any question before we call it a day for today? Any question? FM, Mr. K, any question?
Okay.
So no question.
No, sir.
Okay, sir. So
No question from me, sir.
thank you for the patience, and please let's wait to do the assignment, because Wednesday also I also hope that there will be another assignment also. So then while we are working, while we are session, while we are practicing, if we have any challenge, let's put it on the platform. That's the significance of the WhatsApp platform. So thank you so much. I'm glad to have us today. So then, Mr. Abolu, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much, sir.
So I wish us a very good night, SARS.
All right, thank you very much.
Yes, sir. So I'll put the github.com now on the.
I've even accessed it already. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Okay.
I can see it on the screen.
Okay. So then the other assignment, I hope it's clear to every one of us.
Data types.
Yes, in Python.
It's clear.
Yes. Okay. Thank you so much. Good night.
When is the next class?
On Wednesday, 5 to 7.
Do we have the timetable drawn yet?
Yes, it's always on Wednesdays. These are the days. Let me see if I can quickly share. Okay. On Mondays like this, 9 to 11. On Wednesdays, 5 to 7. Friday, 5 to 7. So those are the 3 periods in
Have
a.
you shared them with us before?
Uh, I thought I did, but I think the document I have here does not carry it. It was in the document I sent to some of us. But I think I will share it again. I will share it again on the platform.
All right.
Okay, sir.
Thank you so much.
Hello, Mr. Bayo.
Yeah.
Do you have a recorded a link where we can see the recordings for today's class?
Yes, but this is the fact that the thing was just going on and off. I'm not too sure if the whole thing will look somehow scattered.
It can be joined together now.
Okay, I'll see how I can do that. Then, if I'm able to do that, I will upload it to my YouTube channel. Then I will send us the link.
All right.
Okay, sir. So maybe for subsequent classes, I will intentionally monitor the recording.
Okay.
I wish us a good night, sir.
Thank you.
Good night, sir.
Yes, sir.